Hey y'all, I'm going to be making some banana bread and talking about friendships. Friendships, such a heavy topic, and there's so much that goes into being a friend and having friends that I don't expect to cover every single thing by the time I make this banana bread. Also cooking red beans and rice right now, so we're gonna see how that turns out. But sometimes baking can be stressful, and I don't like baking. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I hate baking because I hate being told what to do. So we're working on that. But also, like, I hate math and like the whole 1/4 and like, it's not hard to read is what I'm saying. It's just like, why do I have to follow these steps and add these things up or whatever? So today we're just gonna wing it and see how this turns out. But that's not what you should do with your friendships at all. Don't do that with your friendships. We can start by talking about what good friendships versus bad friendships look like. So being a good friend, if you want to be a good friend, you need to be able to listen, be sympathetic, and be empathetic. Okay? There's a lot of people who can be sympathetic but not empathetic. So sympathetic is saying, like, if your friend falls down, you're like, oh wow, that sucks for you, but like that doesn't affect me in any way. I'm sorry that happened to you, you know? Versus being empathetic, you're like, oh my gosh, you're hurting, so I'm also hurting. That shows that you care about somebody in some type of capacity. So if you're friends with someone and you can't extend some type of empathy towards them, you might want to rethink what kind of friend you are. A friend is a good listener. A friend is someone who's there for you when you need them, someone who's very reliable, and someone who you feel like you can be yourself around. If you have friends and you have to change who you are to talk to them or to be around them or to go out with them, they're probably not your type of people. Sorry. It's very, very possible to be friends with someone and then outgrow them. Like, there's different people for different seasons of your life. So there's no reason for you to stay in a friendship that's starting to make you feel uncomfortable. Like, you are not obligated to be anybody's friend. Let me say that one more time.
You are not obligated to be nobody's friend.
I don't know why people feel like you owe them something. I don't owe you anything, and I don't have to be your friend. I'm your friend because I want to be your friend. So, sorry, that was a little extra, but I had to say that. Anywho, so some friendships have a season, and once the season is over, then it's over. So like some friends that you're friends with in college or in like a school friend, maybe when you switch schools or you go on about your life, like y'all aren't going to be friends anymore, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to stay friends with people just because y'all have been friends for a while. And I find people that think that just because they've been friends with someone for a long time and they've been through so much together that they have to stay friends. And that's not true. And it's also not true for relationships as well. You do not have to stay in any type of relationship just because the relationship has had some type of longevity. Like, that's not your problem. If it's now causing you harm or discomfort, you can definitely remove yourself because, like I said, you are not obligated to stay in any type of traumatizing relationship. So, speaking of trauma and friendship growing apart, that can also lead to friendship breakups. And I feel like we don't talk about this enough. I mean, on Insecure, they did talk about it, but I feel like we as a whole need to realize that, yes, friendship breakups hurt. Like, yes, you're not obligated to be friends with anyone, and sometimes they can end really ugly, or they can end like they can just, what's the word? Dissipate, evaporate, whatever. And it doesn't have to be anybody's fault, but Like, it's perfectly okay to just have that happen. And, you know, like, it can be traumatizing and it can be very, very saddening to lose your friend. So, definitely be patient with yourself. Like, if you do lose a friend and you have to reframe, like, what certain things look like for you. So, if you and your friend used to go out all the time, y'all are no longer friends. So you don't go to the same places anymore or things like that. Like, yes, you'll probably miss that, but you have to be able to, you know, like move past it, like figure out what's your next steps. What the freak is going on? So say we do have a friend and we're not going to break up with that friend, but there's some things that have been going on. So sometimes we have friends, and I use that term very loosely. We have friends who say certain things to us that are backhanded compliments. So have you ever gotten a compliment from somebody and then like when they leave, you think like, was that really a compliment? Or did you just like insult me and then like sugarcoat it with some sweet words so that it didn't seem like it's, you know, like something that's negative? Who put these on? Who put these on? Woo! That thing's smoking. Okay, baking powder. I put in the baking soda already. Girl, we just gonna make this however we're making it. And that's that on that. God dang! So sometimes you have to have really difficult conversations with your friends. Like, for instance, when you do this, it makes me uncomfortable. Or just like, hey, I feel like we are not into the same things, because that happens a lot. Like, you're friends with someone when you used to be in a certain type of, I don't want to say a certain type of life because that sounds like some illegal stuff, but you're like friends with them in that phase of your life. And then once you leave that phase of your life, it's like, dang, we don't have nothing to like click about. We don't have anything to talk about. What you're still on is not what I'm on. So I have to move differently. And that's what it is. Like, I'm sorry, but I have to move differently. And hopefully your friend will be understanding. But some people aren't able to handle difficult conversations like that. And I want to say that it's okay at first, like, oh my gosh, I'm losing a friend. So of course I'm going to like be shocked, but that does not equate to being disrespectful or being rude towards someone. Like, you don't have to do that just because you're losing someone who is your friend. With difficult conversations, I think that is another thing. Like, if I'm talking to you as a friend and like, hey, I'm letting you know that you're doing this to make me uncomfortable, or like, this is bothering me about our friendship and I want to see some type of change, or I just wanted to let you know and like talk about it so we can try to come to some type of agreement, and I'm being honest with you, and you like, the first thing you do is just like come out swinging, like being disrespectful and I never liked you, or I never whatever, and you're like just calling you out of your name. That right there, that's something that should tell you that that person was never your friend, because there's no reason for you to be friends with somebody and then when you express yourself to them, they start attacking you. Like, were we ever friends? No, we weren't. Because if we were friends, you would respect me still. Even though I'm doing something that you don't like, you would still respect me. Like, come on now. And second, I'm not your child, so don't speak to me like that. I feel like it's very important to know what you want to talk about before the time comes. Like, you don't want to just go into having a difficult conversation with a friend without like knowing exactly how you feel, and kind of moving forward from there. Like, yes, you can't plan everything in life, but it's nice to plan a difficult conversation with a friend, especially if you know that it's something that you've been feeling some type of way about for a while. Because when when you don't know what you want to say, sometimes you'll say the wrong thing, or you'll say it in a different context or a different tone of voice, or like it'll just come off the wrong way sometimes. So if you can, do try to plan a time and like a safe space for you to speak with your friend about what's going on. I feel like friendships are very difficult, and the sooner we realize that friendships are difficult, the easier it would be for us to be more forgiving, more understanding, more willing to go above and beyond for our friends, because everything in life doesn't come easy, and any relationship that you have takes work. From relationships with your parents to your peers to your family, any relationship that you want to keep definitely takes work. I'm so surprised with how this came out. I had to check it, that's why it's stabbed in the middle. Because I literally did not measure anything. Y'all, look at my red beans and rice, period. Girl, that shit is good. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so good. It's good.